Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to make your own medicine ball. If you're not familiar with medicine balls, they're these great weighted balls that you can find at the gym. They're really good for core work and stability and balance and a bunch of other things. Unfortunately, they're quite expensive. Like, even though they're essentially rubber or leather balls that are filled with sand, none of which is very expensive, like $5 to $10 of materials, you'll find that a medicine ball that weighs 15 pounds will cost you $50, and one that weighs 20 pounds will cost you like $70. So I wondered if there's a way that I could just try to make my own and then show you how to do that as well. So here's one that I've made that's 13 pounds. You can see this is the seal on the bottom, but it's quite solid inside. It might not be quite as durable as the ones that are in the gym, but it cost me less than $10 in material. And in this video, I'm going to try to make a 20-pound one, and we'll see how it goes. So based on the density of sand, I calculated that it would take a 5-inch radius ball in order to get to something over 20 pounds in weight, and to get to about 25 pounds in weight. So I'm starting with this 10-inch diameter yoga ball. I don't need to have it completely full in order to have the weight that I want, but I know that it'll be able to handle at least 20 pounds, and we can measure it as we go. So the first step is going to be to actually cut a hole through which we're going to introduce the sand. Now, maybe counterintuitively, we're not going to actually create the hole around where the plug goes because there's a lot of unevenness on the surface on the inside there. Instead, we're going to go on the opposite end. There's a nice circular logo cut here, so I'm just going to cut a slightly larger circle around that. And I'm going to start by just making a small incision parallel to that circle. Of course, as soon as they do, air will start escaping. Now, as you'd expect with a rubber material, any corner will run and expand into a larger hole. So it's really important to make sure that you don't leave any corners when you're cutting. And so if we cut a circle, there's no corners to speak of, and that's not going to be a problem. So I'm going to cut a circle right around this logo. Okay. And I'll make sure and put this top piece off to the side here. And now we can reach inside the ball and we'll be able to put in the sand. So before I start putting in the sand, there's a few things you want to get prepared. So first of all, you want to make sure you are in a dry, flat area, ideally something that has a hard surface, because sand is going to get everywhere and you want to be able to sweep it up. Vacuuming sand is really not a great idea. The other thing is it's really helpful to get some really heavy-duty trash bags, and I'm going to use that as a lining inside this to securely hold the sand. I'm going to open up this trash bag. I'm going to take one corner of it, and I'm going to put that corner in, and I'm going to put in a bunch of the bag here because I need to have it be able to spread out to cover the entire inside of the ball. So now I'm going to pull the side of this bag over like this. And another nice thing about this is that as I pour sand in, if any gets on the outside, I can just shake it like this and get that sand right into the hole. So let's start pouring in the sand. So it starts off really easy. You can just pour the entire contents of your scoop right into that hole. Okay, now you'll see that it looks like we've gotten to the top of the ball, but as soon as I pick it up, start letting it manipulate a little bit, got plenty of space left in there. Okay, we're up to 25 pounds. That's about the maximum I want for an exercise ball. In order to close this off, I'm going to take the bag and I'm going to twist it, and then I'm going to close off the twist with a cable tie, zip tie. Then I'm going to use a second zip tie to fold over and completely seal the hole. I'm going to start by twisting this guy in place. Pretty good for the lower one. Pull it back against the zip tie. Really get it tight in there. That's one. And then I'm going to twist this up a little bit further. I'm going to make a fold like this. And then I'm going to close off that fold with a second tie. Okay, that's a pretty good seal. I'm going to now trim off the end of the bag here. So it's very tempting, especially if you're a little bit obsessive compulsive like me, to want to trim off the ends of these plastic ties, but if you do, they leave sharp points, and we don't want sharp points poking into our ball. So I'm going to leave them open. You're not going to notice them once they're pressed in the sand. And I'm going to tuck these guys under the surface of the ball here like that. Push it into itself a little bit. Try to smooth out that surface. Okay. Alright. So now we're going to want to seal this back up. And the way that we're going to do it is I'm going to create a sheet of duct tape behind this and cut around it and then push it up into place like a gasket. So I'm going to take several strips of tape here. A little bit bigger than what we need. Okay. I'm going to cut around this in a circle. Okay, so now we've got this surrounded by a gasket. So we just have to tuck this under carefully. Now this doesn't need to be perfectly aligned here because we're going to put a separate patch layer on top of this anyway. The next layer, which is going to be another sheet of duct tape, circular cut, that I'm going to put on top like this. So we can do this on the surface of this guy just for convenience. And I'm going to cut along the outside of that here. To get a nice circle. Okay. We have this nice circular shape for the top side of an edge. So I'm going to put this centered right on that hole. I'm using Gorilla Glue gel, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, there's a wide range of super glues that will work equally well for this purpose. Just gonna start aligning the outside of this guy all the way to the end. And then just smooth that through here. Keep the paper towel handy so I'm not getting my hands completely full of super glue like I have in the past. Okay. So now, got the ends pretty well pushed down. But just to help that stuff really set, what we're going to do is we're going to invert the ball and have the ball sit on that glue. And just for safety, I'm going to put all this on a piece of cardboard just in case there's any leakage. I don't want to super glue to my entryway here. So, alright, let's turn it over. Okay, while we're waiting for the glue to dry, we can put the weight number on here, 25 pounds, just so we know how heavy this guy is and have it look nice and complete. Now, of course, you can use stencils or anything else you want to. Since I have a vinyl cutter, I'm using a Silhouette Cameo And there are particular fonts that I like. I like Seago UI Bold. I just printed out, cut out the numbers out of an adhesive vinyl. I'm just going to peel that off and go over that with a permanent marker. Put that right above this point here. So I'm going to push that, try to get this as smooth onto the surface as I can. So we have a nice shield from the marker. Now the moment of truth. We peel off the white vinyl and hopefully we will not have any bleeding. Right. Got a nice clear 25 there. There's a little bit of bleed on the end of the 5, but that's okay. Looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Now, we just need to wait a little longer for the glue to set. Well, alright, I'm all done except for a little bit of cleaning up over there. So here's the 25 pounder with the lettering. Here's the first one I made. It was 17 pounds, and it was using a playground ball with no liner inside. That's why it's fully covered with duct tape, which makes it a little bit not so great looking. But that's the maximum theoretical weight you can get with that diameter. This is a playground ball, same playground ball, but with a plastic liner. So this one only got up to 13 pounds because of the liner, but it's a lot more aesthetically pleasing. And then this guy, the 25 pounder, that we just made, looks decent. I don't love the texture of the yoga ball as much as I like the playground ball's rubber feel. So for a lot of purposes, I think this one is actually my favorite. It's a nice size and shape and weight, but I did want to have a heavier one. And I will have links to all the different products. You can just get them all on Amazon. The cost of total materials is less than $10 for each of these guys. Do keep in mind that the balls that you make this way are not going to be as tough or robust, so if you're doing exercises where you need to throw them against a wall or throw them down on the ground as hard as you can, I don't think these are going to be quite as strong as the ones that you get from the store. But a lot of medicine ball exercises, you just need to hold the ball, use it for balance, for weight, for ballast, for things like that. And for that, these will work perfectly fine. And especially with the liner inside, I think they're pretty tough. I haven't tried to throw them against walls or things, but I think they would do all right. Especially the ones made out of this tough playground ball kind of material. So anyway, you've seen how it's done, and now I hope you go off and make your own medicine balls, and please feel free to leave me comments about what you end up making and how it turns out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.